Hello, this is Unreal doing a video for Zero Master's 16-bit Winter LP thingy whatsoever. And finally I'm gonna just get off my ass and actually contribute to it by playing a little game I actually picked up early last year, but have known about for quite some time due to playing it on an emulator. And if you can't figure out what it is, this is Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures for the Super Nintendo. And with this LP, I am playing on the actual cartridge and not an emulator, so it might not look as good in terms of video quality, but whatever. Might as well go for the real thing, so let's begin.
Let's go.
And here we begin with the first level. The first third of the game, as you can expect, pretty much follows Raiders of the Lost Ark. And this actually kind of follows the movie pretty well, but it leaves out, the non-action parts most of the time, really. As you saw in the previous cutscenes, they're all represented by screenshots and text, and that's the extent of that. As you probably already noticed, I will not be talking through those. So it may seem boring, but I'd rather not, talk through them. A little disclaimer though, I'm not that good at this game, so you'll probably be seeing, a good number of jump cuts, or, transitions, which will edit out depths and make it less tedious to go through. As for this first level, it's actually pretty straightforward. Of course, I'm doing a really bad job trying, not to get hit, but, like I said, don't expect gold in terms of this, run-through. But like I said, the first level is pretty standard. The worst thing you want to watch out for are those traps that come straight out of the ground. Not the spikes that, go up and down, but the walls like that one. Those kind of can come out of nowhere. In terms of what you get in this game, your main weapon can be the whip, but most of the time you probably won't have it unless you, find it first. You'll see that in a couple later levels. You can also punch with L and R, which I don't use that much in this level because there's no need to. And as you saw earlier with the whip, you can also swing on it, so in a way it could feel like Castlevania 4 for the Super Nintendo, but you can't whip in all directions like that game can, but it's fine, you're given enough to get through.
Let's go.
And now we come to the infamous boulder scene from the movie. This part of the first level can actually be pretty difficult if you have no idea where the traps are. Because if you get hit by one of the traps, you're most likely going to get knocked back and get run over by the boulder, killing you instantly. The only real advice I can really give is just memorize where the traps are, and then you'll be fine. And for some reason, those long upward hills, somehow the boulder can go faster than you can. If you want to speed up a little bit, just try and jump, and that'll make you go a bit faster than the boulder, because it is possible to die there by just running. The good thing about this, those falling rocks do not hurt you at all, as you can see. It's just the traps you gotta worry about. Again, if you just know where the placement is and know when to jump over them, you'll be fine. And now we're off to the second level of the game. After each major level, you'll be given a password, which is very helpful for just anyone wanting to get through the game, and for someone like me that's not using an emulator, so I can continue where I left off for this LP. So that's good that they added in a password.
Let's go.
Now we're in Nepal, and we're going to be looking for Renee. This level actually has a little more platforming than the first level, but platforming gets more crazy later on. Because this level has more opportunities to swing with your whip, and you'll see a little bit. Except in my run, I don't really get to use it that much. One annoying thing about this level are those tiny snowballs that roll down the hill. They don't really hurt you, but they can knock you back into bear traps if you're not careful. Another thing I really don't like about this level is the lack of music. It just feels kind of barren. And as you can see right now, an enemy just shot Indy even though he was crouching. The bullets still go through him, but the hit detection doesn't detect it. So if you're crouching and the bullets go through you, don't worry, they won't hit you. It's weird, but I'm not going to complain about that. As you can just see, we picked up the gun, but I don't use it that much in this level. However, the next level, we do get to use it a lot, so you're going to have to wait and see that. Aside from the snowballs, some of the enemy gun emplacements can be kind of hard. But the good thing is you could just get behind them and they will not turn around. They'll just keep shooting blankly in one side. And unfortunately, there is no way to disable bear traps unless you jump over them. And as you just saw me do, I wasted a grenade, which helps clear the screen, and you have a limited supply. Then you just gotta, like, find more. You know, pretty simple. Now, I think the gun is actually a bit weaker than the whip, but it has much better range and you can fire at a faster rate. As you can see, there's 2 exits to this level. You could go up there, but if you fall down, you'll be able to exit down here.
Let's go.
Now we're on to the boss fight of this stage. I actually die quite a bit in this part during this run, so prepare to see a couple of transitions. The first part of this is, like, you just gotta, like, get to the very top of the building before the fire catches up, and as you could probably guess, the fire is instant death, so let's not fall into that. Fortunately, I do, which is why I said there's going to be a couple of transitions. For most of the stages, there are, like, mid-level checkpoints, like, right here. So, since I got up here and died a little bit afterwards, they started me at this position, so it wasn't too bad. Same thing happens right before the boss itself, so if you die, be hopeful that there's a checkpoint nearby, except you'll never know until you die. Now, this boss fight is, again, very simple. Just keep whipping him and dodge those. He has one attack that has those flaming things ricochet around like this, and I have a really hard time dodging them. And that's about it. Just, not many hits, and he goes down for the count. And that does it for the second stage. Now, join me in the next episode as we tackle Stage 3, Cairo. See you then.